So I started running maybe 9 years ago now, when I was in university. I was playing a good bit of Gaelic football all through my teens, up until the time I was maybe 19 or 20. But I had moved to UCD at that stage, and I kind of wasn't getting the chance to train at Gaelic football anymore. So I wanted another means to keep fit. So I started to do some runs around the UCD campus and some long runs. And I was building up my stamina and endurance that way. And in 2012, I think it was, I ran my first Dublin marathon. I'd ran a few 5Ks and 10Ks in the summer coming up to that, but I knew very little about running. I just knew I had to do long runs, so I was doing a few, maybe 18, 20-mile runs and maybe a 10-mile run during the week, very little. And I ran something like 3:30 or 3:31, I think, off of that in Dublin in 2012. But it kind of took off from there, I suppose, and I knew I had a physical strength which was there, and I could utilise it for the sport. So I would have joined Tullamore Harriers in County Offaly. It would be the most local club to where I came from. I'm originally from Quebec in County Westmeath. So I knew quite a good number of guys and girls as well in the Harriers in Tullamore at that stage, and some other guys from my own town. So I joined the club because I wanted to improve and to be in an atmosphere of runners and to be able to compete in national events and I suppose higher caliber events. So it's a great club to be involved in. We have some great facilities there. We have a tartan track, one of the most foremost tartan tracks in the country, which has been around for years, and also a 625 metre tarmac track, as well as plenty of parking. And they have a very good half marathon as well every summer in normal circumstances. So it's a very good club to be involved in, and it's very like-minded individuals like myself who are running it. So my favourite distance or event is anything from 10k up to half marathon. I definitely have a better knack at the longer distance races. I've also ran several marathons as well, but I think anything from 10k up to 21k is definitely my distance. As I would train with higher mileage. Normally when I'm training, I'm doing upwards of 80, 85 miles a week, if not more, when I'm training for a marathon. So it lends itself, that kind of aerobic strength lends itself to long distance running. So 10k up to half marathon would be my favourite events. Yeah, I think my best ever performance was probably in the Dublin Marathon of 2019. So I was struggling for form, probably coming up to the September of that year, and I went away on a altitude training camp for 3 weeks with a club mate of mine, Liam Brady, who went on to win the National Senior Cross Country in the same year. So I think having that 3 weeks of training and just being able to recover really set me back on the right path for the marathon. But I definitely wasn't doing very well in terms of my training up until that. But after I came back off of the altitude training and all of that, that good experience, I was able to hit a bit of form coming into October, and I ran 2:33 in Dublin that year, and I negative split the marathon as well. So running the second half faster than the first. So I was very happy with that performance. So I think, yeah, definitely in recent times that's one of my best standout performances, which I was very happy with. So at the moment, I've basically got back into some hard training since about St. Patrick's Day. I had been struggling with a really bad injury since last June or July. I had upper hamstring tendinopathy, so it was very hard to shake off that injury. So I'm really only getting back into the harder sessions in the last number of weeks. And I've since joined Ian Wilson's training group down in County Laois, the Wilson's Improvement Performance. So that's a very good group to be involved in. And Ian is working on me with my speed basically. So one of the more immediate goals would be to break 16 minutes for 5k. and breaking 33 minutes for 10k, which I've done once before in the past. But I want to definitely improve my basic speed, and then take that speed work and scale then into the longer distance. But yeah, definitely I'm hoping to do some of the track races this summer, so maybe up in the Leinster track in Tullamore, which is scheduled now for July. That'll be on the immediate agenda. And I'm also registered for there's a half marathon up in Larne in Antrim at the end of August, so I'm also aiming for that. But that's the immediate goals. But it all depends on how the COVID restrictions ease, I suppose, in our guidelines. But yeah, definitely improving my basic speed is number one goal at the minute. In terms of the footwear, obviously this has been a big topic since maybe the last year or year and a half now. My first experience with the carbon plate shoes came in probably late 2019 when I got the Nike 4%, Vaporfly 4%, and I found them very, very good. Like no other shoe I'd ever worn before. Obviously, they're an energy return system, so you're getting energy as you run. And if you're doing a long distance race like a half marathon or a marathon, you're able to gain seconds, if not minutes, almost from wearing some of the shoes. Now the caveat is you have to be obviously quite fit to be seeing some of the benefits too. It's not going to guarantee you if you're a 3:20 marathon runner, they won't necessarily get you over the line in 3 hours. You have to have the training done. But I definitely find even if you're wearing them in time trials and races, your legs definitely are recovering quicker than, say, wearing a shoe which is not a carbon plate. For example, the Vaporfly 4% or the Next percents, if you wear them in a race, I find that my legs they're not as fatigued or as whacked basically at the end of it. So I think they're a good thing if they're allowing everyone to recover quicker from races and so on. I know people think that they are unfair advantage, but I think if they're available to all athletes, I think they are to be accepted. So some people argue that the records which are being set now in them are going to have to be kind of taken into consideration because people are wearing the shoes. But I don't know. I think athletics needs to take into account some of the advances in technology because, you know, cycling and other sports would have done this for a long time. It's always been down to the technology and lighter bikes and so on. So overall, I think it's a good thing, so long as the shoes are available to all of the athletes. In terms of nutrition, then, I think it's very important for athletes to be conscious of good nutrition, especially when you're in a training cycle of say 10, 12, 16 weeks coming up to a big event. I think you need to really be looking at your body fat percentage and your weight and your skeletal muscle. If you can have all these things measured, you know, in off season, I think everyone can, you know, take the foot off the gas in terms of nutrition and be a bit more liberal with what they eat. But I think it's important to maintain a good diet and be conscious of what you're having. But yeah, certainly I will be more of the persuasion of the ketogenic type diet. I think too many carbohydrates is a problem, even for runners, because they do lead to excess weight gain. So it's just being cute and being smart with your food, I think. But that said, I have no problem having plenty of rubbish and sweets when it's not in the hard training cycle. So yeah, I wouldn't overthink it either. I think what's most important is training and to have the correct training structure. But certainly correct diet, recovery, and sleep as well as and stretching. These are things that you need to emphasise, especially when you're in a hard training cycle.